All right, good morning. Welcome in for another Friday Safety Focus of the Week. It is Friday, February 23rd. This week's code of conduct is to maintain, or no, sorry, the code of the week is promote the code. Sorry, my screen's got all messed up. Ben, are you out there? Nope. Ken, you have anything to add on this code item this week?
Oh, this is my favorite one. It kind of all encompassing of everything.
Yeah, I agree. Some quick safety news. It's been 65 days from our last recordable injury and then 7 days from our last first aid injury. So good job this week. Let's finish the week off strong this morning. Start our day after the safety meeting with a nice, complete, thorough JHA and communicating those potential hazards that we might encounter today and setting up our proper controls and our safe work practices to mitigate our risk and to work safe by controlling those unsafe acts and unsafe conditions. It's been about a year since our last HAZCOM, our discussion with the Hazardous Communication Program. We like to try to do this training once a year to making sure that, that we identify the hazardous communication standard. It is an OSHA standard. It is one of the most cited OSHA standards that is out there because a lot of it is just awareness and training, but also making sure that employees know where to locate the SDS sheets and what are SDS sheets. So hazardous communication program, again, this is the right to know. Each employee has the right to know any hazardous chemical that they may come in contact while working at ECI. The purpose to ensure that all chemicals used by employees are understood, they're properly labeled, and they understand and use the safety data sheets if there's any questions. And then the last is just kind of rough training. We do majority of the training when you first come through orientation, but again, we try to highlight it and do a refresher every year at our weekly safety meeting to making sure that everybody is aware. And part of today, we'll kind of go through our digital JHA plan and where our program's located in Microsoft Teams and also where the SDS digitally are located in Microsoft Teams. So when it comes to labeling, here's just a quick OSHA quick card of labels, kind of what each label we like to see. It's don't kind of ignore the left side of the OSHA quick card, but it's that sample label. You know, everything roughly should have a pictogram. We're going to quickly review pictograms here in a second, but kind of the product identifier, the sampler identifier, a signal word as of a pictogram, along with a kind of a quick hazard statement, and then any supplement information that may acquire along with precautionary statements. These labels are pretty much already preloaded in a lot of our secondary containments, such as our gas cans, diesel cans. The only ones that we usually have to make up here at the tool crib is for our mixed gas, but really all of our hydraulic oils, everything that we kind of come in contact with, also our form oils, something like that, already comes preloaded with this. So we just need to make sure we're maintaining labels. If a label becomes defaced or really hard to see, let us know and we will slap a new label on if the container itself is in still good condition. So here's a great example of the pictograms. Hopefully this is a refresher for all. The person with kind of the starburst in the chest, that's a health hazard. We're looking for those are kind of cancer causing agents and other toxicity hazards that are out there. And then you got your fire, that's your flame, that's your explosives, your flammables, skull and crossbows. Again, that's kind of acute toxicity, a lot of your poisons. Then you have your exploding bomb. That's usually everything that we see with like main drilling and blasting. Any blasting that we have, those trucks are labeled pretty well. We want to be careful around them. The circle with flame on top, that's your oxidizers. Exclamation point is kind of the acute skin irritation type of hazards, very low haz, but again, could do you harm if you don't have good proper hygiene with it. Corrosives are more on the severity side. Those are your hand and this one over here in the bottom left corner. Very corrosive, very dangerous if you get it on your skin, you have to quickly have a first aid eye wash station or body wash station nearby. If you're ever handling any corrosions, we don't really have any of those here at Engineers, but we do work at facilities that have corrosive holding tanks, so it's very important to identify those areas. And then environmental hazards, and then of course one of our big ones that we have here is just our gas cylinders, oxygen, acetylene, propane, all those gas cylinders. So where do you find kind of overall of our program? I'm going to just kind of switch my screens off here again. We have all the hard copies in health and safety. Again, you can call us if you have any questions on the SDS sheet. So I'm going to quickly unshare my screen and bring up the Microsoft Teams so everybody can see that. Does everybody see kind of our Microsoft Teams, the Foreman Supers channel? Believe you do. So if you click on the Foreman Super on the tablet, it might look a little bit different. Under Files, you'll see under Files, you'll see our SDS master sheet. You click that. That will bring you up to a quick link, and then you see here, here's everything that we have under File, easy access. You just click the hyperlink, and it'll bring you up the SDS sheet for what the product that you're looking for. Also, in Microsoft Teams, if you click under Library, and then you see here, here's all of our kind of regulatory programs, our hazardous communication program. You fire that bad boy up, and then you kind of see our 5-page document. So if an OSHA compliance officer shows up the jobs and is asking for your hazardous communication program, you can go right to your tablet, show that compliance officer, yes, we have a hazardous communication program, and here it is. It's kind of a one-stop shop. It's a nice little open library for some of our bigger documents or regulatory documents that we need. I'm going to quickly show everybody just kind of a breakdown of a SDS sheet, just kind of hitting the 16 topics. Okay, here you go. Oh, diesel here. Does everybody see the diesel SDS sheet?
Number 2, yes.
Okay, so here it is. It's broken down into 16 sections. It's really easy to navigate through Microsoft Teams. So again, the first section, again, is just identify, what it is, some emergency contact information. It's just very generic information. Section 2 is your hazards identification. Kind of talks, here's kind of for remaking labels. This is where we would go to come remake a label. We should have, here's our pictograms. What we should have, our signal word is danger. Our hazard statement is flammable, liquid, and vapor. May be fatal if swallowed and enters airways, cause skin irritation, harmful if inhaled, could cause cancer. So those are kind of our proper labelings that we want to make sure have with our diesel. Then section 3, again, it's just more ingredients, what is kind of made or how it's made. Section 4 is the first aid measures, something that we would definitely look at if we need to administer first aid, such as any general advice, move out of danger area, show if this safety data sheet is to a doctor, say if someone drinks it, poison control, you kind of want to have this document, get that documentation to the primary care or emergency room. If an inhaled, what kind of exposures are there for those types of situations. So it's a really powerful document for if there is an issue. Especially with getting like products in eyes, there's a great little documentation here. Flush eyes with water as precaution, remove contact lenses, protect unharmed eye, keep eye wide open while rinsing, so it kind of breaks it down and it slows your kind of decision making, because you can kind of rely on this document if something does happen and we're trying to like maybe do on-site first aid. It could be minor, but again, anything serious, we want to make sure we're calling Tom, we're getting over to Champlain Medical or emergency room, depending on the situation. Again, if a fire breaks out, this document lets us know what to do, how to properly put it out, what type of fire extinguishers to do. Most of our fires are all pretty standard. Accidental release is section 6. So again, if we spill, how to clean it up. It's a great document to refer back to if a spill occurs. Handling and storing, perfect example of making sure we have labels and making sure it's stored properly, not with a lot of other flammable liquids. It's all kind of written in this document to making sure that we're avoiding any flammable storage issues where a big fire could break out. And then section 8 is one that we really kind of focus on, health and safety. It's a lot of our exposures and controls, not so much with diesel, but there's other products that we use like concrete curing agents, things like that, that really have a lot of high vapors that we might need to elevate our PPE to like a half-face respirator and things like that. So we kind of look at section 8 quite a bit, our exposures and how to properly control any atmospheric hazards that these products might have. Kind of scrolling down. So again, here's your exposures: respiratory, hand protection, eye protection, skin and body protection, and hygiene measurements. It's a great tool to use. And then kind of breaking through, section 9 is physical and chemical properties. Flashpoint, it's a really good thing to know, especially if you have a strong odor and you're kind of unsure and we're doing hot work nearby. You can kind of see what the flashpoint is. So when this stuff actually ignites. Stability and reactivity, what does it do under different conditions? How does it handle with water? How does it handle with air? Is it heavier than air? Things like that. And then just kind of scrolling down to section 13, again, disposal. How do we properly dispose of this thing if we have it left by? So that's a lot of our waste that we generate here at ECI. A lot of it is because we buy something, we don't use it up completely. So we got to try to make sure that we're not just throwing this in the dumpster. So this is a very powerful document to making sure that we're disposing these products properly and with state and federal regulations. And that kind of wraps it up with a safety data sheet. It's your right to know anything that you may come in contact while working at ECI. This document is kind of what we follow. It's readily available. It's in Microsoft Teams under Files right here, SDS Master Sheet. And we try to keep it updated as, every 2 to 3 months we go through and just kind of make sure that we're in good shape. And if for any reason you want to look at our program, you come here right to library, Hazardous Communication Program. So kind of recapping, we want to make sure that everybody knows that what they're coming in contact with, that we keep our labels going. If we're transferring into a secondary container, that secondary container must be used in that day. If not, let's slap a label on it. And then we want to make sure that all of our SDS sheets are at least readily available on all of our job sites. So if you don't have good self-service and Microsoft Teams isn't available, let's make sure we have hard copies on those projects. And if there's anything that we buy that's new, please contact Health and Safety so we can keep our program up to date with the newest products that we are utilizing out there in the field. But for the most part, the chemicals that we come in contact with are mostly our diesel, hydraulic oils, things like that. So it's really overall not extremely hazardous to us unless we wash our hands with it or drink it. So let's keep it off our skin and let's not drink anything that could be hazardous to us. Tom, is there anything else that you want to add to our hazardous communication?
Yeah, just a couple of quick things. When it comes to like any sort of first aid for chemicals, don't just assume any old wives' tales or, oh, he ingested this, so I'm gonna give him a bunch of water or milk or anything like that. Refer to the SDS sheet. You can call us if you're in doubt, you don't necessarily have to call 911. If you're trying to figure out what to do, you can also call poison control. They're very helpful. That's 1-800-222-1222. And they're always very helpful with trying to figure out what your best course of action is, whether it might be drinking water or it might be going to the ER or calling 911. The other thing too is a lot of times if you go to, let's say you go to Prescott and you always get the same product for, I don't know, PVC cement, and then they come out and they say, oh yeah, we don't have what we normally have, but here's this stuff instead. Just make sure that we're updating. You're just letting us know, send us a picture of the label or whatever so we can update the SDS. Same thing if you're working out of town and you go somewhere other than Prescott to get your PVC cement. It could be a different brand. Just check that it's in the SDS sheets and make sure that if it's not, that you send us a label and we'll get it in there. Ronnie, did you raise your hand?
Yeah, I just had a quick thing. I just thought maybe health and safety could make up like a little cheat sheet to get to them documents for the foremans. I think that would be a handy thing down the road for them to have, just maybe a little quick cheat sheet with laminate it, and then they have it in their trucks. And if they ever need to, they can go to it to find them documents.
Yeah, good suggestion, Ron. We'll definitely, when we go out and train our foremans on how to access the JHA, and we can definitely get them. It's like 2 buttons away from the JHA, so we can definitely show them where to locate that. But that's a good idea. We can definitely highlight and laminate something and have that tool for their toolbox. Ben,
Or
you got anything?
can you do a link directly from a tablet into a certain folder in Teams, I wonder?
It's if I'll share my screen again.
But I know, like, you could have on your computer desktop a link to a web page directly. I'm just wondering if that can be done with Teams.
Oh, right on their homepage.
Right on the homepage, say.
Yeah, we could look into that. Yeah, we could look into that.
Okay. All right.
Ben, you had your hand raised?
Yeah. Is there any reason that any of us we used to have little books of the common ones that we used on certain jobs. Is there any reason that we would have those books anymore? Do you guys don't have those anymore? The MSDS books for the common things that we use on different crews, or are we just relying on the tablets now?
We do have a couple just hard copies, but what the hard copies happens is they just get lost in the shuffle. But the digital is nice because it's easy for us to change it out when the hard copies are really hard and cumbersome to change out.
Is all of our employees able to do that, or probably it's just the foreman, right? It's just the people with tablets.
Yeah.
So we don't have a way except for through the foreman if I'm a laborer to get a hold of the MSDS anymore. Okay. I just want to make sure that's cool.
Yep. Again, kind of on the job, which the foreman should be on the job, but the tablet should be there, that easily accessed. But again, a laborer could definitely call health and safety, and we could definitely get them one if per their request, no problem.
Yeah, we had a problem over
emergency.
at IBM one time, and we had it in our trailer, and we ripped it out and gave it to the EMT guy, but just because he needed it. When we got into some stuff that were there. But anyway, okay. Thank you.
All right.
Okay. We got another hand out there. I don't know who.
Hey, so that's me. Good morning.
Morning.
I'd like to share a little scary story with you from yesterday. So I actually had a tire blow up while I was filling it up. It was run soft on a 1-ton. I was wearing the right stuff in the right place, but just wanted to take that opportunity to share with you guys, just be careful around dump trucks, loaded trailers, loaders, etc., because, that situation is, a prime example of don't get complacent at something you do every day, because you never know what's going to happen. So I just figured I'd share that with you guys,
I think that filling a tire is one of those underappreciated risks and hazards.
Yeah,
out
a lot
there.
of stored energy can. Remember that time the rim, split rim loader tire, the ring blew off out back just loading it when the guys were scooping some gravel.
I think also it'd be a good topic for an upcoming safety meeting. And even, we could even maybe get somebody from Marshall Tire who could really give us some good stories about what can happen out there.
Yeah, Jason from Marshall Tire actually studies and keeps up to date on everything to do with tire safety. So he'd be a good one to reach out to, Matt, if you want to pursue that.
Yeah, he's a member at the AGC and he sits in the safety committee, so I can reach out.
Right.
Nice.
Thank you,
Cool.
Chico.
Thanks, you. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Chico. Okay, I'll take over the screen. I can figure out which one it is here. Try this. Well, no. Let me open it again here. Maybe I didn't completely open it. I opened it on my Outlook, but I haven't double clicked it yet. Okay, guess I wasn't quite ready. I'm going to unshare and then I'm going to share again. That's a little better. Okay, you see my screen?
Now it's there. Yeah, we got it.
All right. So for announcements this week, we have a Morgan Stanley Financial Advisor sessions coming up for Friday the 1st, Friday morning. There's half-hour meetings available from 8:30 to 11:30 for employees to discuss their 401k account. So check with Melanie for an appointment. And one thing I forgot to put on here that Sarah reminded me of yesterday was that she now has insurance certificates. So check with Sarah to get insurance certificates for all company vehicles. And I left on the Corpy Gate security announcement here. So if you don't know, we are taking over the Corpy yard and we need to maintain security of the yard because we share it with White Trucking, Bert Noby over there, and they need to have their area secured as well. And just carrying this through again, because it's a very important item, is to make sure your life insurance and 401k beneficiary forms are up to date. And you received a mailing here a couple weeks ago. If you don't have that and you haven't done an update, then check with Melanie or Gina. It's very important. We've had situations before where those benefits need to come into place and old information may be bad information and not the intent of the person. So another little piece of information, not really an update, but general information that's been ongoing, is that we have a health safety account program here. And if you are part of our insurance plan, then you are automatically have enrolled in a health savings account, an HSA. So each year ECI contributes to the account on your behalf to help with out-of-pocket expenses, medical related services, or other expenses. And you also have the option to contribute via your paycheck tax-free. So it's a tax-free advantage. So you can, especially if, and everyone has medical expenses at some point. So if you build a little account that has money in there, it's done before taxes. So it stays with you too, is the other advantages. You change jobs, retire, or anything like that, it's always there. So there's limits, and it goes by single, 2-person family. So you can see the numbers here. And there are catch-up contributions if you are older, so kind of like a 401k in some ways. And we have a list of items here on that link to qualified medical expenses. So pretty important stuff, and a good way to get a better healthcare and wellness and to cover some of those expenses. And we have some new employees. This is actually one of the people from last week. I messed up his name. So this is Bradley Johnson at the top. and I incorrectly identified him last week. And Ed Wilbur, a new person in the civil group. So welcome, guys. And I'm continuing the ECI children's size sweatshirt announcement here. Also with all these pictures last week, I missed the Forcier family. I put them right front and center there, or front and left anyway. Sorry about that, guys. There were a lot of photos to go back through. I have to upload them, and then I have to go and selectively put them into the email. So it's just obviously a lot of them great photos. I love looking at these pictures of the kids, and they look so good in their ECI sweatshirts. And they're excited about it too, I can tell, including the dads. So great. I'm excited. Hopefully we got some more people signing up for sweatshirts. There will be an upcoming order, and Sarah is a person to check with. So this week we're highlighting some of the recent project startups we had at various locations, and ECI has started several major jobs this winter. Each project will be highlighted in a future project of the week with more detail and as they progress. So one of the recent startups is the V-Trans Montpelier Whacker 13. It's a rehab of bearings and abutments and replacement of some deteriorated structural members on this through truss railroad bridge in Montpelier over the Winooski River. Right there, just some of the lead containment shields that we had a lead containment contractor, and starting some work already on it. So cool stuff. And another project is the Seance. Oops, it stopped. There we go. Seance Road. Back it up to the title here. The Seance Road precast concrete arch bridge, and that's at the Camp Ethan Allen training site, or SEATS. It's abbreviated as SEATS in Jericho, also known as the firing range. And we are building over the local little river there. I don't know if that's part of the Browns Trace or which river that is. I forget. But sheet pile cofferdams on each side. And then driving, we drove piles, and then we also over the piles, I should say, there's a pile cap footing that we're doing a cast in place that they're constructing there. The East Alberg trestle, that's up in between East Alberg and Swanton. We're doing some maintenance repairs with timber replacement and some steel work, a steel diaphragm replacement on the swing bridge. That's the swing bridge right in the middle of the photo. We're out there. That was a couple days ago. That's our high rail excavator and high rail vehicle. And can't really see the guys. They're down on the end of the swing span doing the steel work, the diaphragm replacement. It was taken from 78. Here's one of the bolted connections. Pretty intense bolted connection, pretty cool looking stuff. I like the bolted connection look. We also have the Highgate Airport runway extension and tree obstruction removal. The first phase of the project is tree obstruction removal, which has been started by our subcontractor using horses. Look at that, pulling logs out of the woods. Looks like a happy horse. That's what he loves to do. Does he look happy? Like telling your dog you're going for a walk. Hey, we're gonna go pull logs. And there he is again. So someone will have to remind me who the subcontractor is.
It's Brett Farrow.
Brett
and then
Farrow, right.
his brother Mark Farrow actually owns the horses.
Right. Yep. And they pull moose out of the woods and everything. So give them a call if you have a moose. They're from the Northeast Kingdom. And I have the Exeter, New Hampshire force main replacement on the Swampscott River. This is the phase 2, the second bore that was started up recently. They've had a couple of good snowstorms to deal with down there, and of course, cold temperatures. So there's our flameless heater. It looks real sharp with a little enclosure around the mud reclaimer. And then oops, jumped it too fast there. Go back to the title. The V-Trans District 8 garage in Swanton. We are the site contractor for this new facility. It's a PC construction job. And you see there's a little bit of earthwork going on. It's a fairly large site, large building going in with utilities. Another cool job startup. And then up in St. Albans, the digester. We are the concrete subcontractor to the builder, the general contractor. And this project, very similar to recently completed Middlebury digester. Oops. Oh, oops, I hit too many buttons too fast there. I was trying to hit the little arrow and I hit the space. So there we go. There, the first one was the footings, and there's some of the walls completed already. That's what I got. Then for the archives this week, I have Superman Matt Saganowicz lifting up a bridge to allow temporary shoring under it on the VTR 219 in Pittsford in 2017. Look at that bridge he's holding up, and gave the guys enough time to get under there and put some shoring in. That's pretty awesome. And then Zeb is there looking at him like, oh, okay, now you can put it down. All right, pretty cool work. We got started up. It's a great start to the year, so we're all excited, and good winter work for everybody. So I'll pass it back to Matt to close out the meeting.
Thanks, Ken. Yeah, really good photos. If you're watching a group setting, please send that over so we can capture attendance. Let's have a safe day. Let's have a great day.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.